Hi everyone, it's Sunday night and I'm making my final weekly kickoff video for you. It's bittersweet because, of course, I'm going to miss all of you. I hope to see you again, at least in the capstone, if not a course in between. But I'm also really excited for you to have finished this first course in your MED program. For some of you, it might be a second or third, but it's a nice little kickoff to the program. You're developing your e-portfolios, doing lots of things that I think are really going to hopefully set you up for success in your program. So kudos to you for getting to the final week and persisting, and for signing up for this program in the midst of a pandemic to begin with. So well done you. I also want to take this opportunity to wish all of you a happy St. Nicholas Day. It matters not to me whether you celebrate it or not. Our family does, so I'm wishing you that. I am actually not German. My husband is. So when we got married, I was introduced to this new celebration, and the way they celebrate it is last night the kids would put their Christmas lists in their stockings, and then of course during the night St. Nicholas would come and take their lists and just leave a small treat for them for the morning. It could be, a piece of fruit or two, or maybe like a small token. My kids are now, my son is 17 and my daughter is 21, and they still write lists because it's so helpful to me. So I wanted to share just a couple of things. So this is just a little excerpt from my 22-year-old daughter Julia's list. And this is something she asks for almost every year. Lastly, some sick cat toys would be perfect. We're cat people in this house. Of course, we're dog people too. But she always asks for some sick cat toys. And I'll tell you what, we deliver every single year. This year, it's a mechanical flopping fish couple that are gonna drive the cats absolutely mad. And from my son's list, let me see what I should choose here because it's pretty long, goes on to the next page. He forgot something, so we added a flap. I mean, it's a lot, but interestingly, you might think he's greedy. But what's neat about it is this is the kind of stuff he asks for. So much Diet Peach Snapple, I don't run out until February 2021, plus a little Diet Lemon Snapple, a coconut, a pomegranate, a cool dart gun, and maybe fun socks, a vaccine, and more room on this paper so that he could turn it over and tell me he loves me and say thank you, Gavin. So I look forward to these every year. And again, I wish you all a happy St. Nicholas Day. So closing out here on that personal note, I want to just very briefly go over what we're going to be doing this week. It's basically a wrap up and reflection time, right? So I'll go to skills really quickly. This is the time for critical reflection and for really helping each other finish this program strongly and using a rubric for critiquing purposes. Now, those of you who are teachers probably use a rubric all the time and develop rubrics and do all that. But I think it's really important when you're giving feedback and feed forward to your classmates in the future, moving forward in future terms, when there is a rubric provided, I strongly suggest always using that rubric to provide feed forward, because it's just I mean, if that's what's going to be used to grade the assignment, it seems apropos that that's what you would do, right? So the rubric for this assignment can actually be found by either going up here to the assignment section and clicking down to the folder for this assignment, or the link is directly in this week's, in the week 12 module. The very bottom, if you click the submission link, you'll be able to access the rubric and all the information for the final assignment. So I offered a few resources here on how and why reflection is so important. The reason I did that is because in the spirit of, I talk about feedback and feed forward a lot. Feed up is something I don't often talk about. I've mentioned it to you, but I always want to make sure you know that why an assignment is important, right? Reflection is at the core of learning and growth. Without reflection, you don't make long-lasting meaning from your experiences. So I just offered a couple of short pieces here that talk about why, number one, why it's important and how it works, but also how you could use this, right? Reflecting on the last day of class, endings can be important beginnings. This is actually from Northeastern. So if you aren't doing it already, I suggest using this in your own life at the end of a really important experience, or in your own classrooms with your own students, or whatever, your professional learning communities. Reflection is really important, and carving out space for yourself to do that and just breathe and look back at what you've done and take stock and kind of assess where you can go from here is critically important to your continued success and development. So at the end of every course in your program, you are going to revisit your program ePortfolio to do these following things, 1 through 5, and then I want to make this clear, and that's why I highlighted it. Completing these requirements and submitting a link to your ePortfolio is required to pass every course. You have to do that at the end of every course. And I put this caveat: it's your responsibility whether your instructor asks you to complete these tasks or not. Every course is supposed to have a reflection at the end and either an assignment link or a discussion board link or something like that for you to submit a link to your ePortfolio with all of these 1 through 5 included in there. Every course. However, if an instructor does not include that, it is still your responsibility to do these things at the end of every term for every course you take and make sure they get a link, whether you have to ask them about it, how they should submit it, or if they don't give you an answer. I'm not saying this is ever going to happen, but I'm trying to be preemptive because once you get to the capstone, it's going to be critical that you have these things in there for assignment purposes at that time. So you can just maybe email a link to them, but you have to make sure that you do this work and that you submit it to them for review. And most instructors will provide direction regarding that. Some instructors actually provide specific questions for your or prompts for your reflection to guide you on that. Other instructors won't, but you can look for that at the end in every course. So when authoring your course reflection, you do want to embrace brevity, meaning this isn't easy, right? You're looking back and you're choosing what you want to share pretty carefully. You want to talk about your insights, your knowledge, the knowledge you gained, the skills you gained, your abilities, and you want to give examples to support your assertions about, if you claim that you really saw growth in yourself in a specific area or you enjoyed X, Y, or Z, give us an example of what you mean by that to illustrate your point. That's a really good exercise in supporting your claims with evidence. And basically, I'm just really excited to hear about your personal thoughts on the course, on your individual experience, on your group experience, all of that stuff individually and holistically. And I put this little bullhorn here because in the past I've had students kind of view this, they're maybe a little, I don't want to say burnt out, but they're kind of out of steam towards the end. And they sort of just dash something off quickly just to tick a box. And I view this as one of the most important assignments of your entire course experience because it is where that meaning is made. So please don't just dash something off that just to tick that box. Really try and use this as an opportunity to get something deep and meaningful out of this course and this experience as you walk away, right? So I appreciate that. And I think that later, when you get to the capstone in particular, when you look back at your reflections, it's going to be important for you to have really captured your experience because you're going to be so excited at that point to look back and see where you started and where you are then. So take some time. That's why I made that one of the main focuses of this week, in addition to completing your ePortfolio. The main focus of this week is focusing on the reflection. So obviously don't forget to go ahead and I'm going to go over here. Actually, I'll go up to modules. Here we are. Bear with me. So we have you submitting your ePortfolio website by December 12th. They actually extended it a day, so you have an extra day to work on that. You'll submit a link to your entire ePortfolio website, which will have all of the required components, including the full text of your reflection in there. And I wanted to point out that I added this as well. This is something I just did this afternoon. I found the coolest tool and I've been wanting to use it all term and I really couldn't think of an opportunity to do it, and this happened to be it. So it's just one final free tool that I thought was super fun and super creative. You can open this up and I give you a link to the tool, and I made a quick one for you just for you to enjoy, and you can add that to that list that Whitney made. Thank you so much, Whitney. That was so gracious of you. If you all go up here to the general course Q&A, Whitney Spieler has posted a beautiful document that kind of captures all of the tools and things that we've done throughout the course of the term. So if there are any that you really want to remember, I remember we did this, but I don't remember the tool we used, she's captured them for you all here. And that was such a generous gift for you to do, Whitney. Thank you. And I know all of us thank you because we can all benefit from that. Another quick note here, I haven't done it yet, but in week 12, just for fun, I'm going to be adding another quick forum. I'm going to call it something catchy, and I already have something in mind, but I'll surprise you with that. And I'm going to put it right below the one fun final free tool, right? And it's going to be asking you to simply take one quick thing, one thing from your reflection, and make a final video capture where you focus on that one takeaway, right? Of all the takeaways and all the elements of your reflection that you do, that you write, focus on one and share that just in like under a minute in a video. And I'm going to have everybody share one of those just for fun because I want to have a chance to say goodbye to everyone and see you next term or whatever. But I feel like we should really finish the way we started and have this come full circle. So be on the lookout for that. I will be creating that by the end of this evening tonight on Sunday, December 6th. If you have any questions as you're finishing up this week, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Otherwise, I'll be back in touch later in the week. Take care.